So I know 3 parity algorithms for Square-1, one of which I make 2 variations out of, depending on what the parity actually looks like. The 3 algorithms are, one of them switches to adjacent on top, one of them switches to opposite on top, and one of them does an H-perm on top, and switches these 2 opposites on the bottom. If you know any one Square-1 parity algorithm, it's the one that switches these 2. You should know this one already, maybe. That one goes like this. And I'm going to put all the algorithms in the description. And quickly. And I make 2 variations out of that algorithm, but first I'm going to show you the other 2 algorithms that I use. The first one switches these 2, goes like this. And the other parity algorithm that I know does an H-perm on top and switches these 2 opposite edges on bottom. It goes like this. And quickly. Now the variations of this algorithm that I was talking about. So yeah, that algorithm. You may notice that it flips the equator layer whenever you do it. So if your cube looks like this, go ahead and do that algorithm straight forward. And then you're good. Now if your cube looks like this, where the equator layer, the right side of it, is not upside down, if you do that parity algorithm, it will switch these 2, but then this side of the equator layer will be upside down after you do the algorithm. So everybody knows that if you do this algorithm, it will flip it. Okay? So what you're going to do is the parity algorithm, but that at the end you're going to cancel into this algorithm. So that looks like this. And then at this point, you're going to do 6 on the top, 6 on the top, slash again. Now what if you have this, where you have parity on the bottom? There are 2 things you can do. One thing you might do is do the algorithm that switches these 2 and these 2. And then just do the parity algorithm from here. But there's another variation to that parity algorithm which can solve this. Everybody knows, if you're familiar with Square-1 at least, everybody knows that doing this algorithm will switch the U and D layers. So now white's on top. What you're going to do is flip the cube upside down, push the equator layer like this, so now you can hold it with your thumb on this small piece, instead of it being awkwardly to the other side on the right. Then you're going to have it set up to how you normally do that algorithm. You're going to do that algorithm and cancel into this pop. So you're going to cancel into that. Yes, you're going to cancel in to that algorithm at the end of the parity algorithm, just like you did with the other variation of the parity algorithm. So it looks like this. So you're going to start out with it like this, flip it upside down, do this, then at this point, instead of going this way, you're going to turn it that way, and then do a 6 on the top, and then slash. A little bit quicker. And now one more thing. If you have parity in the bottom like this, you're going to make sure that this side of the equator layer is flipped upside down before you flip the whole cube upside down to do the parity algorithm. Because if the equator layer is solved when you flip it upside down, when you go like that, it makes it a lot harder to do the parity algorithm because you're not used to having this big bar on the right, or on the left. You're used to having it like this, with the small thing against your thumb. So you have to make sure this is upside down before you flip the cube upside down. So what you do is this algorithm, which if you know anything about Square-1, that's one of the things you should know already. Now you can flip the Square-1 over, and then go like that. So it's got to be like this before you can do the algorithm. I mean, I guess you could do it without doing that, but this is easier, since you're always used to having your thumb on the small piece rather than the big part of the equator layer. So yeah, then you flip it over, then do the algorithm. So yeah, those are the parity algorithms that I use. I hope this video helped.